Hi guys, it's Michelle, clearly, and thank you for coming back. Here we are, we're in my living room, because I'm really sleepy and don't feel like moving all the way into my bedroom. I hate doing videos about like current events just because even though it may be extremely relevant and extremely important to discuss these things and, debate the consequences of various current events, it just feels like participating in a fad. Even though everybody has a unique point of view on things, after a little while I just get sick of hearing people discuss the same event or issue over and over again. But I still feel like this one is particularly important. Recently, there has been an extremely ironic push from the left, hence the irony, um, toward expressing your disagreement or dislike through violence and that being justified. And it's fascinating to watch the correlation between it becoming socially acceptable for uber leftists to call everybody they dislike Nazis, that being correlated with the fact that you can punch Nazis and it's okay. This is just completely bizarre, and I feel like I say that constantly. That could be like a text tone or something of like obnoxious things Michelle says, but it is surreal. It is just completely surreal that the left has gone from calling words violence and calling any kind of insult or any kind of harsh criticism without some kind of like warm, gentle tone to it, sometimes even warm and gently toned or like delivered criticism violence. The left has gone from calling words they don't like violence to now condoning literal, actual, physical violence against people that you disagree with. This is incredible to me. It's just incredible in the most horrifying way because I don't care how awful the person is that you dislike, unless you are someone who is tasked career-wise with making these decisions, that being deciding that you need a SEAL team to go in and take somebody out, something like that. One of these people who's been trained their whole lives and has to attempt to go to bed every night thinking about the fact that they are deciding that violence is the right decision against someone because it's going to save a large group of people. Those people, I understand it. But unless you're somebody like that, unless you're the president, unless you're high up in the military and you are trained and it is your duty and your purpose in life to make these calls, there's no other reason or excuse or justification for being violent against people ever. Ever. Violence is wrong. And it's this whole slippery slope thing where if language is violence, well, if somebody uses violent language against me, if language can be violent and I perceive somebody's words toward me as violent, then I have every right to defend myself by killing them or bashing their face in. You cannot conflate violence with free speech. It's not. Violence is not free speech. Protesting is free speech. Activism is free speech. A lot of really obnoxious protesting and demonstrations are indeed free speech. Wearing what you want is free speech. Driving around in whatever car you want with whatever bumper stickers you want is free speech. There are many, many things that are horrible and morally indefensible that fall under free speech. But violence does not. And the thing that's so bizarre to me is that so many people are advocating for violence when I don't think a lot of them realize that when you resort to violence to silence somebody that you disagree with, you're basically conceding that your argument is baseless and that you cannot out-argue them. You cannot defeat their argument or refute it with your own. Why else would you need to resort to frightening someone or injuring someone or otherwise incapacitating them to where they cannot spread their message? But you don't realize it, but you're basically conceding that you are incapable of expressing yourself in a way that is logical. You are incapable of refuting someone else's arguments. Therefore, you have to go to extremes to silence them. There's nothing more pathetic, there is nothing more cowardly, and there is nothing more damning and betraying about your own character and your own side than having to resort to violence. If that person was wrong, why not let them say what they want? Why not let them expose themselves as bigots or illogical? Why not let them come out and set out their arguments in a public forum so that you can refute them, unless you're incapable of that? You're admitting that you are incapable of tolerating someone else's opinion, and you are incapable of refuting it in any kind of respectful, mature, intelligent way. It's just incredible to me. I mean, the contradiction between there's my comment section is so filled with violent rhetoric that I had to disable comments, but then it's okay to enact actual dictionary definition physical violence as long as it's against someone that you don't like. I mean, it's amazing. It shouldn't be anymore to me, but it's amazing. It's absolutely unbelievable to me. And it's not even the kind of thing where it's like a gotcha moment. It's like the uber left, the progressive, the social justice useful idiots don't care that they're being hypocritical. They don't care. And how do you work with someone? How do you dialogue with someone? How do you try to show someone your viewpoint when they don't care? They don't care at all whether or not anything they say is consistent, it makes sense, is based in logic whatsoever. How do you argue with someone like that? You don't, because if they don't like what you say, if you are even the slightest bit more right-leaning than they are, they will label you a Nazi, and then it's justifiable to silence you with physical violence, with assault. What do you do? What do you do in these situations? Do you know? I don't know. I don't think anybody knows. I think, oh, it's a disaster. It's just a disaster. We are barreling toward complete anarchy. Everything is just falling apart. Everyone is destroying their communities, their families, their cities, their political groups, because people don't care about logic. People don't even care about integrity or consistency within their own movement or their own mindset. They just want to win. And there's no shame in someone who is willing to shut you up through silence, who would rather shut you up than listen to your argument or let you expose yourself as wrong by arguing your point. I don't know what the point of this video is. I think we're just doomed. So, crap. We're doomed. Anyway, on that lovely note, I love you guys very much, and I will see you again soon in a hopefully more structured and more optimistic video, although it's not likely, considering how things are going. Have a good day.